Hey, we are back live again. Sorry about the technical difficulties on YouTube. Happy to see the stream has recovered and we can continue here. Uh, Give me just 1 second to reset the webcam and then we'll get this thing going. Um, there we go. Yeah, it's funny. Streamlabs and Zoom just do not work well together for some reason. It just doesn't marinate well when it comes to uh, cameras and stuff like that. uh, but we're gonna try to make this work though. All right, let me. There we go. And all right, so back to it. If you did not catch the last part of the stream, we're gonna continue on here. We're looking at the Saints' schedule, and we were talking about how the Giants have ruined two teams' seasons so far. The Saints are the other team that they've ruined with an overtime win over New Orleans, and that was in Week 4. Now, why is that important? Because uh, it messed up the Saints' record while they're hunting for a wild card spot. They're trying to get to the fifth wild card spot, and we are trying to currently occupy the sixth. And this knocked them back to the sixth spot. Why? Because of that Giants loss. So the Giants have now screwed over both of us. Ironically enough, that's crazy, man. You would think, as bad as the Giants are, you would not expect that to happen. But here we are. Weird COVID year that it is, it happened. So the Saints did go on and beat Washington 33-22. I mean, that was expected, right? And then take a bye week. They recover and they play well against Seattle 13-10. But their offense kind of stuttered a little bit. So then the Saints go on to a win over Tampa Bay, which was totally unexpected. Nobody was looking for this at all. And went up to 5-2 at this point. This is where things went crashing down for the Saints. They took that loss to the Falcons 27-25 last week. And then Tennessee surprised them this week and beat them 23-21. So this is why we are where we are. Battling the Saints for this wild card spot. So the Saints, rest of their schedule, we've got Philadelphia in Philly. And who knows how win. Probably recover right there. They take on Buffalo. That's an L. Straight up, that's an L. Unless for some reason they catch Buffalo at the wrong time and get a magical upset, just like we did against Arizona. Anything's possible this year. It's like Disneyland right now. Anything's possible. If you believe enough at this point. I wouldn't put it past them. By this point in week 13, Dallas recovers. And Dallas is pissed. Okay. This is a Dallas team that's been a little bit beaten down, but they're going to come back and they're going to start finding themselves again. They're going to get all these weapons back. They're going to start putting up 30 points again. And it's not going to be a fun time if you're a Saints fan. So then the Saints recover with the Jets game, lose to Tampa Bay in Tampa, take on Miami, win that one, and then they take on us in week 17 and get an easy cupcake win over the Falcons in 18. Because at this point, the Falcons just don't care. They're already out of the race by that point. That's what we're doing with here, folks. And I just want to tell you, this is going to be a full-fledged battle for this wild card spot. So here's another fun tool I want to show you guys. Hold on. This is one I started doing a few years ago. Playoff Simulator NFL. And if I can find the correct website that they do this on, I don't think it was I don't think it was ESPN, but I think it was Playoff Predictors. Let me take a look at it, and I'll be able to tell you. Because I've looked at this site for long enough. Yeah, this is a pretty good one. I like this. Alright, so. Oh, this one shows the draft order too. Okay, good. Perfect. I like that. Alright, so. What is this date? Week 10, right? We haven't played the Monday night game yet. For week 9. Right. Okay, week 10. Got it. Got it. Okay. Okay, so a winner still has not been decided on the Monday night game between the Rams and the 49ers. So, if you're seeing this on YouTube, you're seeing what I'm looking at right now. This playoff predictors .com/football NFL/NFL. This is the one that you want. Playoff Predictors is a great website. I love it. You can do college football, baseball, basketball, football, pretty much most of the major sports, right? All right, so let's dive into this. Let's say the Rams win over the 49ers, which I think is going to happen. That pulls us into week 11. Now, week 11. Let's see. The Bills win here over the Colts. Let's see. The Dolphins win over the Jets. Titans win over the Texans. They're garbage. Raiders beat the Bengals. And we're going to have the Chargers over the Steelers. That's going to be the AFC side, right? NFC side. Let's take a look at this. Okay, so I'm going to have the Saints get a big win against the Eagles. I think that's going to happen. I think they're going to surprise Philadelphia at home. They're not going to be expecting them to play really hard and want that win. So, that's a 6-4 record, right? We get the win over Washington. That puts us at 6-5, putting us still in the hunt. Now, here's where it gets tricky. Green Bay and the Vikings. I got Green Bay. I think Green Bay wins that. Seattle and the Cards. Cards have a lot of injured players. Let's go Seattle. Bucks over the Giants. Patriots over the Falcons. Ravens over the Bears. I think that's going to be a crazy upset right there. Where the Browns win. Now, Niners, Cowboys. That's looking pretty solid right there. I think, yeah, Niners over the Jags, Cowboys over the Chiefs. Chiefs have been struggling. I think that's solid predictions right there. The possible upsets are the Saints and Eagles. That could happen. There's always that chance that we choke against Washington, but I doubt it after what we did last week. But Washington does have a very talented defense. Their offense is struggling. That's why I'm giving this team a win for us. I think that's a win. Another one that could be a surprising upset might be the Colts over the Bills. That could happen. You never know what team is going to completely collapse. Falcons have been known to upset a couple of people this year. Don't sleep on them. But right now, this is what I'm expecting to happen. So we go to week 12. Week 12 predictions. And again, for those people that don't know what this site is, it's Playoff Predictors. I like it. It's a great one. I used it a lot in the last few years. Okay. Steelers over the Bengals. Bengals have really collapsed. I don't see that being a win. Titans and Pats. That's going to be a major battle right there. I don't know what's going to happen there in week 12 between those two. That one's got my attention. I watched a little bit of the Titans today, and they looked impressive. I'm going to go Titans. I think they pull off a random, crazy win over New England and Belichick's crew. Texans and Jets. Texans. That's one of the few wins they get this year. Jets are horrible. Chargers over the Broncos. I see that happening. I see Browns over the Ravens. I've got Dallas over the Raiders. I've got the Bills taking down the Saints, which puts us in second place at that point with a 6-5 tie. Now, what we do in week 12 will determine this wild card spot because we have to beat this Dolphins team to ensure that we secure second place in a battle for first against the Bucks later on. So here come the Bucks going up against the Colts. Now, this Colts team is interesting. They're, as of right now, in this playoff predictor, they're 5-6. I'm going to go Bucks because I think Brady is better than the Colts. And let's just say okay, Dolphins, 4-7 at this point. They're out of the wild card race at this point. Do they try? I say no at that point. Now, it only takes the Dolphins a couple of wins to get back in the hunt. That's the thing. So we got to be careful with that game. Falcons beat the Jags. Lions get a surprising upset over Chicago. I see that coming. That's going to throw them completely out of derailment there. Eagles beat the Giants. Although the Giants have been known to derail some playoff teams. But at this point, Eagles are not on the playoff hunt. So, Eagles win. Vikings and 49ers. Niners have a good defense, but they don't have a good offense. I got Vikings. They have both. Green Bay and the Rams. Ooh. Now that's going to be a hot game right there. I don't know. Who wants it more? You know? By this point, I think the Rams cool off Rodgers. I'll take that bet right there. Washington against Seattle. This is where it gets a little complicated because Seattle has a decent defense, but again, they're out of the playoff hunt. So is Washington. So this is a battle for a pick, a draft pick. In which case, I've got Washington. Because here's the thing, Washington's defense is good enough to derail the Seahawks offense at a point where the Seahawks don't care anymore. That's one that's going to absolutely throw them into a wreck right there. So we got week 13. Still going. Chargers over the Bengals. Broncos over the Chiefs. Colts over the Texans. Easy. Ravens over the Steelers. So, I mean, it is what it is, man. You know, these look easy enough to predict, but they're a little tougher than you think. All right, man. LD, man, it's a pleasure having you on stream, man. Appreciate you. I'll chat you up tomorrow, and we'll get to business. You know, appreciate you, man. Keep pounding, my friend. All right, so we're gonna continue this matchup predictor on here. Ravens and Steelers. This is always going to be a big battle right here between these two. Ravens are clearly putting better than the Steelers at that point. It's not even close. Ravens are in the wild card hunt. Actually, they're going to be leading that division at that point. So, they're going to play harder. Trust me on that. Bills and Patriots. Patriots are going to be in that wild card hunt at the 5 spot based on predictions here. But it won't be enough because Buffalo just plays well enough to beat them. So, Yeah, I'm putting a lot of faith in Buffalo here because I really, really do think that Buffalo is going to stick. Dolphins beat the Giants. Eagles beat the Jets. Raiders beat the Washington football team. I mean, Raiders are in a wild card hunt, but currently at that point, battling for the division. These are predictions now, guys. Now, I'm not saying any of this is going to happen. I'm just saying this is what I think could happen. This is a wild year. Anything is possible. All right, Rams over the Jags. Cowboys over the Saints. I mean, at this point, Cowboys have control of the division. It's not even close. But the Saints could surprise them right there. That's what could happen. Meaning that the Saints could stay in that wild card hunt if they win that game against Dallas. So what are the chances that they do that? We'll see. A lot of upsets happen, man. A lot of upsets happening this year. I'm not putting it past them. I'm going to call that one, actually, in favor of the Saints. Maybe the Cowboys have a little bit of a collapse there that week, while they're preparing for the playoffs. You never know. All right, so cards. By this point, everybody gets healthy. All their weapons get healthy at this point against the Bears in Week 13. I think that's possible. All, or at least most. And that's where they just take it to the Bears. That's just going to be an ugly game. I can see that. Buccaneers over the Falcons. That won't be close. Vikes over the Detroit Lions. Now, at this point, are the Vikes actually in the wild card hunt? Not necessarily. But if they win this one, they might be. What happens if Detroit wins that? Okay. So they still stay. They would move up to 8. Got it. Okay. So the Vikes still have a lot to play for there. Now the Niners and Seahawks. Neither one of these teams really want this game. It's going to be for a playoff pick, draft picks. I got to go 49ers on this one because 49ers have an excellent defense at this point. So we're moving on to 14. 14 is where things get a little bit hairy for us. We do get that win over the Falcons. But what happens with the Bucks? That's the question. I think the Bills take that game and put us in a position where we can actually fight for a division lead. So it's all going to depend on that Week 12. What happens to us in Week 12 against the Dolphins? This is if we continue on playing the way we did today. Folks, all of this could happen. All right, so Browns and Ravens. This is during the time that the Ravens fight for and claw. And this is the most dangerous time to play the Ravens. I've got Baltimore. And I know that's going to surprise some people, but I got Baltimore as an upset right there. A lot of people are going to pick the Browns because the Browns are playing well at this point. but not well enough. All right, so Raiders take down the Chiefs. Chiefs are having a downturn year, so I see that happening right there. Titans over the Jags. Vikes over the Steelers. Although Pittsburgh has been known to fight hard during this time of year for a wild card spot when they're not in. So we'll see how that rolls, but I'm not betting on it. You know, Niners over the Bengals. Bengals are in rough shape right now. Saints get that crazy win over the Jets, and they tie us for second place. Yeah. Seattle over the Texans. Lions get some random win over the Broncos that they're not supposed to get. I mean, the Lions have just been coming out of nowhere with these random wins. And I don't even know how they get them. So, we got the Chargers over the Giants. And again, this would be an interesting time for the Giants to pull an upset on the Chargers, if it should happen. Do I think Cam is going to start over PJ Walker against Washington? I think PJ should start. I think we should attack that Washington game the same way we attacked the Cardinals game, and have Cam Newton be in red zone packages. I think that was a smart way to do it. It took the Cardinals off guard, and it worked. You know, it worked to both of their strengths and none of their weaknesses. So I like that play a lot. You know, I say we stick with it. That's a winning formula. You know, we got 34 points out of it. Granted, we were playing backups, but it worked. It absolutely worked. And I don't see any reason why it couldn't get us 24 to 28 points again against starters, you know, all starters. You know, Washington's defense, Miami's defense, you know, Falcons defense. We should be able to get that amount of points at least with that formula. All right, so continuing on here, Dallas beats Washington. We beat the Falcons. Green Bay beats the Bears. Although there's always that chance Green Bay gets upset randomly by a team they shouldn't lose to. And the Rams beat the Cards. This is realistically what you're looking for. Week 15. That sets up this major game right here against the Buffalo Bills, which we do not get a win in at all. They run us over. Unless we show the same offense that we played today. If we show that, this is going to be an absolutely titanic battle. That I think Buffalo still holds a 60-40 edge in, but we can go blow for blow. But the problem with that is, once you get into December, the very next game is the Bucs and Tom Brady. And Tom Brady watches a lot of film. So he's going to shred our defense. He's going to find all these little Swiss cheese spots in our defense that we didn't even think we had. And that's what's going to cost us in week 16. So that will cost us the division most likely. That's what I think realistically is going to happen. I don't want to early predict some of these games because there's a lot of upsets going on right now this year. There's a lot that could happen. You saw it today. Washington beat Tampa. Nobody expected that at all. Not me, least of all. I didn't expect it at all. I was totally shocked. But yeah, I do like Washington's defense. I think Washington has an excellent defense, and they played well today against Tom Brady. So if they played that well against Tom Brady, maybe Tom was having an off day. Who knows what was going on there? But we got that defense coming at us next week. And I'm a little concerned. If they can take out the Bucks, we're right in their crosshairs. And that's not good. So we got to put up a good showing on offense this coming week. We got to show up and do what we did this week. And that's tough to do 2 weeks in a row. But if you can do it, we got a shot. I definitely believe that. We can win. Coach says, yeah, I think they should do what they did today, but feed Cam a little more on passing plays. So fool the defense and ease him into the offense. Yeah, I agree. You don't want to ease him in too soon, though. I think red zone packages are good. Anywhere between the 30-yard line and the goal line are good for Cam Newton. I wouldn't go any further past that because then you start testing his arm, and the defenses start testing that arm strength, and where he decides to throw it. I think we beat the Bills. Our defense is nasty, and we have CMC, DJ Moore, Anderson, and Chuba been playing well. Here's the thing, man. If you've been watching the Bills, that's a dangerous team. That's a very filthy team right now. I don't think we can do it. I mean, I keep hoping, but optimism only takes you so far. You got to be able to put talent on the field and get it done. I don't think we got enough talent to handle them. Once they face us, it'll depend on a few different factors. It'll depend on injuries. It'll depend on can our offense keep going blow for blow with people. Will our offensive strategy keep working? And I don't think it will against the Bills and the Bucks defense. We'll probably figure it out by that point. Bucks offense, I mean. So we'll see. We'll see. But I think if we put all the pieces together, we can go blow for blow. It'll be interesting for 3 quarters for sure. Fourth quarter is where it's going to go either our direction or their direction, one way or another. It really just depends on how that third quarter goes. Because if we can put up some points in the third quarter, we got a shot. If we can't, we're in trouble. Jonathan Funny says all we have to do is split one with the Bucks and we win the division. That's not so simple. Let me show you why. If you look at our schedule, we have to beat Arizona, which we did today, beat Washington, which we will do, but that Dolphins one is the one we're circling. That's the crucial one. If you can somehow manage to get a win in Miami before bye, then yes, we can cruise into the Falcons game, beat the Falcons, take on the Bills. We probably won't beat the Bills, but that here in Week 16, that will give us a shot at the Bucks. A split with the Bucks could give us a shot, but I don't know. That's why I'm looking at the Saints, as well as how these matchup predictions are going to go here. And there's a lot of factors that go into it. But I do want to circle the Miami game for sure. Because that's going to be a 50-50 game. I'm not sure how that's going to go. A lot of it will depend on Tua's health. The other part of it will depend on our offense. And how well we execute. Because if we go in there and we don't execute, we're in trouble automatically. That Dolphins defense will start picking us apart. But if we go in there and we execute, then we got a shot. If Tua has trouble because of his injury, we got a shot. And we execute. If we play the type of gameplay we played today, where all three phases are working together, and we execute, we win. Despite Tua putting up those types of numbers that he usually puts up when he's healthy. That's the key, man. We got to contain Tua. And I don't know if we can do it. We've not shown much success at containing quarterbacks that extend plays this year. But it's possible. It's highly possible we could. Let's see. We can win our division losing one game to the Bucks. I don't know, man. Because the Bucks lost to the Saints. That's true. That is legitimately true. But here's the thing. The overall record is what it comes down to. And if the Bucks win enough games, they can shut us out and put us in second place. Division wins are good. Don't get me wrong, but overall is what they go by. Our division is winnable if we can beat the Bucks both times because we're most definitely going 8-5. So sure are you, Mr. Coach? A lot can happen. A lot can happen with this team in between now and that 8-5. I don't know, man. We only have to win one with the Bucks. Okay. That's what you're saying. Okay. Miami game is easier than the Washington game. Next three games are free. We're going 8-5. Okay, next three games. Next three games. You're talking about Washington, this very tough Dolphins defense. And Tua, if he's healthy, could be a 50-50 game. But yes, we can beat the Falcons for sure. That's easy. We can do that. We barely beat them the first time, 19-15 or something like that. We got that one. But here's what history teaches us. And here's what history taught the Cardinals today. Never go into a game thinking you got an easy win. There are no easy wins in the NFL. They learned that lesson the hard way today. They threw in a bunch of backups and they thought, well, we got this. With injuries and all. Yeah, we ain't worried about those Panthers, man. They ain't gonna do nothing. Surprise, surprise, here comes Cam Newton. Out of nowhere. And a 34-10 score. That should teach you never underestimate any team in the NFL. Any team. Even the Giants are Dude, the Giants have ruined our season and the Saints' seasons. So now we're both sitting in a wild card battle, for the second seed instead of the first one. We should both be battling for the first seed. And neither one of us could beat the Giants. That just goes to show you, never underestimate any team in the NFL. Oh, and here we go. The Jets. We almost lost to the Jets in week 1. We were lucky to escape with a 19-14 win. Point proven yet again. Saints learned the hard way today. Don't underestimate your opponent. Don't sit there and say, oh, well, we got to win, Despite whatever's going on with your opponent's roster, it could be a lot nastier, man, than you think it is. Some of these backups are a lot better than people think they are. This is what preseason is for. So you can find out exactly what you have on your 53-man roster. That's why these teams are able to chop down to a 53 so easily. Or in this case, a 55 because of COVID. But still, you see my point. There's a reason preseason exists. And it's not, oh, well, we just want to sell tickets and make money. No. That ain't it. That ain't it at all. You need solid depth on your 53. You're looking at people like PJ, and you're going, okay, well, he's solid. Well, who isn't? The goal here is to have a 53-man roster that you can go 18 games and say, this team is a playoff contender at the end of it. With backups coming in if we get injured. Next man up mentality. That's why they do this, man. So, when your backups are not good enough, it shows. Look at the 34-10 that we just put up today. We played a handful of backups, and we took them down. Which shows me this offense is capable of battling some starters and going toe-to-toe with them. This is why we're having this conversation right now about the Dolphins game. And how crucial that Dolphins game is. We know we're not coming out of Buffalo with a win. That ain't happening. Now, it's possible we could go toe-to-toe with them, though, and battle them until the end. But win? I don't know. I don't think so. Then you got back-to-back games with them in Tampa Bay. And we all know how amazing Tom Brady is at picking apart defenses. So again, he'll find those and even think it was. You know, he's just that good. And I've never seen anybody better, in my opinion, at doing that. So the question then becomes, can we take the Bucks at home? That will be the critical game to tell us, are we in the hunt or are we trying for a playoff spot, as a division leader? It could happen. Anything can happen in the NFL at any given week. But my playoff predictions right now that I'm running right now are what I actually legit think could happen. That's why I'm doing this, folks. All right, so week 15, you got the Chargers over the Chiefs. Chiefs are still struggling. Chiefs took the first one. That could go in the way of KC because that's usually a split. So I think at this point, KC pulls a miracle win out of their butt. And I don't think it's going to matter because the Chargers already have the division lead. You're not even concerned about that right at this point. Jags get a miracle win over the Texans. And the Texans fall to 2-12 in a possible number 1 or 2 spot. I don't know of anybody that's lower at this point. I don't think so. Oh, okay, the Lions. Yep, Lions. Yeah, it's funny. The Lions can't even win a game. They end up tying. They're so unlucky that they can't even beat a weak Steelers team this year. A weaker than normal Steelers team. And it ends up being a tie. Come on. Oh man, I feel so bad for Lions fans right now. I really do. That's gotta suck. God. Alright, so I got the Titans over the Steelers. I got the Broncos over the Bengals. Bengals are still struggling by this point. And it just doesn't matter. You can't do anything to recover at that point. I think Eagles are sitting in a position where they might want to try for a wildcard spot at 6-7. You never know. But Washington is clearly out. I'm going to give that win to the Eagles because I think they're going to legit try to get in, and they're going to fall short. Just short. Cowboys here. Take that win over the Giants easily. That's a slaughter. Cardinals have their full team back at this point, and they just slaughter the Lions. Niners defense takes down Matt Ryan. Rams take over that game against Seattle. Now, we'll get to that Bucks and Saints in just a second here. I want to pick the Vikings over the Bears. Now, Bucks and Saints this week in Week 15 is a critical one. Because this one determines whether the Saints try for a division lead this week of 15. Now, how badly do the Bucks want this division? Probably badly enough to beat the Saints and play well enough to put us in second place. A second place tie right here. at 8-6. That's reasonable right there. That's reasonable. That puts us in a really good spot to fight for a wild card spot. Currently, the Vikes and the Cardinals are going to be battling for it, along with us. Now, this is going to be the difference maker in Week 16. If we can somehow get a miracle win over the Bucks at home, and that is slightly possible considering they just lost to Washington, the door is open for us. That's where it's going to start to matter after the Dolphins game. But I think we actually pull off the upset right there. I think we surprise them. And we slide into second place here. Now, well, you're dealing with Tom Brady, so expect a comeback from Tom Brady. Expect a very, very dangerous Bucs team at that point. They're going to be hungry. They're going to want that game. And Tom Brady can shred your defense in ways you didn't even think possible. So, we'll see how that goes, man. But I think we pull off an upset there at home that people were not expecting us to get. Cowboys went over Washington. Yep. Seattle. Yep. Rams. Yep. Eagles over the Giants. Yep. See it. Their defense could recover by that point. We'll see. There's a lot that could happen there, man. When you're dealing with Tom Brady, a lot can happen. I wouldn't just write that off as a win, bud. I wouldn't just write that off. You never know. Titans over the Niners at this point. I think Titans win. They've got a strong enough team. You know, they're sitting solidly in that number 1 seed. They're not going to lose it. This is where you start to see Rodgers come back. But is that too little too late? You know, to secure a number 1 spot for the Packers. I don't know. They've got 3 locked up, that's for sure. At this point. But we won't know for sure until later. Cardinals again find their way into the winner's circle. And back into the hunt. Saints beat the Dolphins and put themselves back in the hunt too. And that's a very dangerous prediction right there because that Dolphins defense is dangerous. So Winston's going to have to be very, very careful, but I think he can get that win. And here's my thing. If he can get that win, so can we. If we're playing well enough, we can get it too. The Saints have learned under Sean Payton that they have to execute if they want to win games like that. And we have learned the same thing this week. So, they're very good at it. Is he? Is he done for the season? That's news to me. I wasn't aware of it. I haven't had much time to follow the Dolphins this year, but maybe I might want to take another look. Oh, he's done for the year? Wow. Okay. Let me double check that. Who's Miami's replacement quarterback? That's what I want. Who we got here? Who else is on this depth chart? Okay, Tua. When I said Winston, I said I was talking about the Saints. Okay, so Tua is questionable. Jacoby Brissett is questionable. Wow. I think Tua probably gets healthy again, maybe. Wow. That Dolphins team is really in question right now. We might actually pull this win off after all by a bigger margin than I expected. Thank you for pointing that out, Jonathan Fleming. I appreciate you. So with Tua taking over, he's struggling a little bit. How is that going to go? Well, we got a Dolphins team that just got a win over the Ravens. Again, any given Sunday this year, it's wild, man. You don't expect it. Um, Dallas blows out Atlanta 43-3. Yeah, expected. Falcons secondary is trash. Niners and Rams. I got the Rams, man. I got the Rams. Colts over the Jags. Yep, easy win. Pats over the Browns. A little bit of a surprise that it was that much points wise, but yeah, nicely done for them. Just seeing that 16-16 score with the Detroit Lions is just, it's sad. It's really sad to see that. Oh my god. All right. So we got Philly over Denver. Expected. Minnesota over the Chargers. That's a shocker. Was not expecting that. Nobody was looking for our upset either. So, to be fair, this was upset Sunday, really, around the league. 16-16 score. I can't. Wow. Pittsburgh has really fallen off the wagon wheels. Oh, man. And Detroit still can't pull out a win in overtime. Wow. That's when you know you're trash. Sorry about that. ESPN loves to do that. Other videos just randomly play out of nowhere. But we got Green Bay over Seattle, 17-0. What that score tells you right there with the Green Bay is that Seattle's defense is still good enough to limit Green Bay to 17, and you've seen what Green Bay's been up to lately on offense. And what do you know? KC actually gets that win over Las Vegas. What I tell you, man, that division splits, man, every year. It's a wild battle. It really is. I was telling you, the Chargers actually beat the Chiefs earlier on in the year. Watch that be a split, too. I'm counting on the Chiefs beating the Chargers later on. That's going to be a little bit of a surprise for people that are thinking the Chargers kind of have things under control. Nope, they don't. Nope, they don't. All right, so here is yet another battle, Week 16 with Pats and Bills. I think the Pats surprise them there and get a surprising win. They're playing well on defense. And I think it may just be enough to split with them this time. Chargers are playing well. Chiefs will beat the Steelers. Steelers are trash this year. Let's be real. Raiders beat the Broncos. And that's how that Week 16 is going to look, in my opinion. There's always room for upsets. You don't know which ones are going to happen. But overall, I have a pretty good success ratio as far as picking these things, man. But upsets really throw me for a loop a little bit. Because it throws out the entire idea of what I thought some of these teams are. Sometimes. Especially late in the season. So I got the Chiefs over the Bengals, Raiders over the Colts, Pats over the Jags. Titans at this point have full control. Dolphins are out. They've been out. Chargers, Browns. And here's where it starts to matter. Bills over the Falcons, Bucks over the Jets. They may want to rest their starters against the Jets. That's what I'm thinking, because at this point, they've got control of the division. Niners over the Texans. Here's a surprise win by Baltimore. And I warn people, don't underestimate Baltimore towards this part of the season, because this is a very dangerous part of the year where Baltimore gets a lot of wins towards late in the season. They always do. So I caution the Rams on that one. If you're a Rams fan, watch out. Because that is a huge upset right there. The Rams think they've got control over that division. That's the one upset that could upset the balance right there in the West. And give that Cardinals team a chance. This is where the Cards take advantage of it. And they get into the hunt. This is where they have all their weapons back at this point. They're healthy. They're ready to go. They're playing well. We'll see. You know. This is assuming this is the same Cardinals team as earlier on in the year. If you show me an identity of a team, I'm going to believe it. Proven otherwise. So there's the Eagles beating Washington, I think. Yeah. And this is where we get that win over the Saints in New Orleans and secure our number 6 wild card spot. We hold it until week 18. Now, what's going to happen after that? We'll see. With the Bucs game, final game of the year. Seattle beats Detroit. Green Bay beats the Vikings in a tough matchup, right? That's always a tough matchup towards the end of the year. Ooh. And finally, week 18. Here we go. Bills over the Jets. Browns over the Bengals. Pats over the Dolphins. Colts over the Jags. Ravens over the Steelers. Titans over the Texans. KC gets another big win over the Broncos. That they desperately need to stay in the hunt. Chargers and Raiders battle for the lead there. I say Chargers win that one and knock out the Raiders. But it could go the other way. If the Raiders win this one, they stay right there in the hunt. And it knocks out KC. Which is a possibility. We'll see. I'm going to call that upset right there. And we'll get back to our game in a minute. But I want to focus on the rest of these before I pick our game here in the 18th week. Because we are right there. Right in that threshold, man. Where we secured the 6th seed the week before. Right? But we haven't locked it in. Alright, so. Cowboys beat the Eagles. Saints beat the Falcons. Saints are back in the hunt. But the Falcons have been known to surprise a couple of teams this year and throw everything out of balance. So you don't know. Again, that's a 50-50 game there. You don't know. I'm betting on the Saints 60-40, but you don't know. Green Bay. At this point, Green Bay is resting their starters, but they could easily take down the Lions at this point. They don't care. You know. Vikings over the Bears. Cards are fighting for the division. So, of course, they're going to try hard right there. Rams and 49ers. Rams win. All right. That brings us to our game against the Bucks in the 18th week. What's going to happen here? And if you're not familiar with this site, it is Playoff Predictors. So if you'd like to try that out for yourself, it's playoffpredictors.com. Just so you guys know. All right. So, should we win this battle, here's what happens. We go into a tie for the division lead and grab it. Should we lose that game, we still secure 6th seed. Because we have won enough division games that we clearly trump the Saints at that point in time. That's what we're looking at. So either way, we're in. Predictions I'm making right now. All right. So just to recap, we're only looking at our games right now. If we win against the Saints in week 17 here, that's what puts us in that position. Week 16, we need to beat the Bucks at home, which is possible. That just became possible this week. 15. We will be taking that loss against the Bills, unfortunately, in Buffalo. I can see that coming. Week 14. We've got to get that win over the Falcons. 13. Week 13 is a big one. Because that's our bye week. If we get a little bit of help here from the Cowboys, just imagine if the Cowboys win this thing. That locks us in for the 6th seed. So now we know who to root for in week 13, right? Imagine the Cowboys win that game. I'll bet you they do. I'm going to go ahead and lock that in. Matter of fact, week 12. We win against the Dolphins. Now do you all see why this is so important? This game could determine whether we secure the 6th wildcard spot or whether we're out. This is it right here. Imagine they beat us. Then what? We're out. If Washington beats us, we're out. Now do you see why this Dolphins game is so important, folks? It's crucial. We've got to have it. We got to have it, otherwise we're in trouble. If we lose to the Falcons, we're out. Any tiny slip up at this point, and we're out. If the Bucks beat us, we're out. See what I mean? We got to have it. We got to have that win against the Saints. If we don't get it, we're out. We can split with the Bucks, but we cannot split with the Saints. Or we're out. Do you see now why I said back 3 weeks ago where our ceiling is? At 10 wins. Do you see why it's that crucial that I put a ceiling number on it? Because if we don't pull off any one of these wins, and we don't take care of business on our schedule, we're out. It's that critical, folks. Our safety net game is gone. We lost that once we didn't split with the Eagles or Vikings. If we had won at least one of those games, that would have given us full control over our destiny as 6th seed. Think about that. If we had beat the Giants like we were supposed to, our safety net remains. We're sitting in a very, very dangerous part of the schedule here, where we cannot afford to screw up again. I'm telling y'all, man. If we choke against this Dolphins team, that's it. There is no but no. There are no excuses anymore. This is it. We either make it or we don't. Period. Splitting with the Bucks is not a bad thing at this point. We're in a position where we can afford to do that. However, everything else on our roster, on our schedule, is critical. Now y'all understand what we're dealing with here. And why this win over the Cardinals was so massively big in getting us back in the hunt again. Because if we didn't get this win against Arizona, we're done. We're done this week. I'm not talking about next week. I'm not talking about the week after that. I'm talking about this week. If we didn't get that win against the Cardinals, we were done. So, for Cam Newton to come in here at the perfect time and do what he did, it's incredible. It really, really is incredible. There's a few ways this could go sideways, but there's also a few ways it could go the right way too. Panthers, you choose. What are we going to do? It's up to you from here on. We can all give you all the motivational speeches we want to in the comment section, in the chat, on my live stream. I can give you all the motivational speeches that you want. But if we lose, there are no excuses to be made. I want this as bad as you guys do. After watching this win today, I want it as bad as you do. I would love to see us get into the playoffs again. Okay, so let's talk about if we did make the playoffs with our 6th seed, right? Okay, right? Imagine we do. We get paired up with Green Bay. Y'all see my point now? The only team I could see us legitimately having a shot against in the wild card round is Arizona. Because we all know how Tom Brady is once he gets in the playoff mode. He's going to be lights out, beast mode. Dallas is not going to slow down either. Rodgers is not going to slow down. Vikings we may have a chance against. But what are the odds that they end up playing us in the wildcard round? Not very high. So imagine we do somehow get this miracle surprising win over Green Bay. Then what? Dallas wins here. Arizona somehow pulls off this win over the Bucs miraculously, which I could see happening if everybody stays healthy at that point and everybody's back and healthy and they're playing with a full deck of players. You know, I could see it. I could definitely see it. Bills would then take out the Chiefs. That's, come on. Ravens, we all know what they're like in the playoffs when they've got a hot team. And Belichick in the playoffs versus the Chargers, that's going to be the hot one right there. That's going to be the one to watch. I don't know what's going to happen there. Okay. Divisional round. We play the Rams. We get our butts handed to us. That's, nope. Nope. I don't see us getting past the Rams. Not happening. Dallas wins there. Titans are having a heck of a year, but I think that's where the train ends. I think Bills are playing well enough that they could take down the Ravens. I think that's where things get a little bit weird. You know, you got some weird teams in here that you don't expect to see in here. It's a weird year. Rams actually have a little bit more than Dallas does. I think that defense could figure out Dallas's offense. It could. I'm not counting on it, but it could. By that point in the NFC Championship. Now, Bills have a complete team. That's who I've got in the Super Bowl. Now, this could be completely different than what you're seeing right here. It all depends on the next few weeks. What happens with upsets. This could be a completely different picture. We'll see. And considering where's the Super Bowl being played? Like, I forget which city it's being played in. because depending on the city, if this one's in a dome, I don't know, man. That's a 50-50 right there. That's tough. I have to go Rams. Yeah, if it's being played in LA, then the Rams have a shot. Should take it. That's home field advantage. Wow. Oh, at Rams? Yep, yep. They're playing at the Rams and Charger Stadium. Okay, yep. That's home field advantage for the Rams. And you know how crazy these LA fans get, man. They could become a factor. If there's enough of them in the stadium, they could become a factor. That's really wild, man. I don't know. Oh, wow. Can you imagine? Can you imagine if that actually happens right there? I wish we could beat everybody, Jonathan Funny. I wish we could. But we're at that point, man. I don't know. I would love to have a playoff spot and finish 10-7, but the question is we can't go anywhere, even if we do. And I'm just showing everybody this is what we're dealing with, even if we somehow make it in. You know, are we sure we want to pursue this route? You know, are we sure we want this? Because once we take that route, there is no going back. We're out of a top 10 draft pick. You know what I'm saying? This team's built stronger than 2015. I would have to compare the both of those depth charts to be able to tell you which one is stronger. Right now, I'm going with the 2015 crew because honestly, that team was built from top to bottom. Every spot was beautiful. You know, every spot was solid. Um, except for Rimmers, of course, and that's what cost us the Super Bowl. But um, we had a much better line at the time, I think. Bro, this is arguably the best defense we've ever had. Mm. Yeah, it's arguable. It's arguable. Uh, People say that we have a top 10 defense. Some people say, we have like um top 2 in a few categories, which I don't doubt that. I haven't seen the rankings, I haven't seen the numbers to compare it to the rest of the league, but I'll take a word for it. As far as the best defense ever, I gotta totally disagree on that because the 2015 crew was just tops. They were unbelievably good. Unreal good. Okay, let's break down that 2015 defense and I'll show you why. Number one, Luke Kuechly. He actually out chess matched 2/3 of Peyton Manning's audibles. Who else do you know that could do that? Nobody. Nobody in the league. Secondly, you got Thomas Davis, who was completely shutting down the run. And I mean, so much so that they were actually getting negative yards in some games. 3, you got excellent corners. You got Pat Tillman, you know, Mr. Peanut Punch, you know. You had Josh Norman on the other side. Nobody wanted to contend with that. Nobody. Then, if that's not bad enough, if that's not terrifying enough, then you've got our pass rush, which was time. I mean, nobody wanted to contend with that. So, yeah, I don't think I got odds on the 2015 team defense by a long shot better than us. But still, we showed tendencies of the 2015 team defensively that are really, really positive that can help us. One such as pass deflections. 2 is tackling. We're really good at tackling. We did the same thing back then. 3, we showed really good discipline on not biting on fakes, you know. And I'm not just talking about the boot actions or the play actions. I'm talking about like a lot of different plays. Like we're not biting on some of these plays, that they're trying to fool us with. And we're covering well enough that they can't get these plays. And that's something we did back in 14 and 15 that was really, really well accomplished. Yeah. Not to the level of what we did back then, but it was pretty close, in my opinion, if I had to compare them. So, and we're limiting our mistakes. That's what we did back then, too. And I mean, it's just next goal, next goal, next goal. And that's what Phil Snow's got him doing, man. And I love it. That's what we were doing back then. And it worked so well. Defensively, I think we're on par with Sean McDermott's crew, who is doing a fantastic job of themselves, So all we needed was a quarterback to play complementary football. Yeah. Yeah, and we could have a complete team again, And you saw what the difference was once we had offense. Once we started putting points on the board. Once we started using some of these weapons the right way they were supposed to be used today. By a veteran quarterback, a man that's been in the Super Bowl, a man that led us to the Super Bowl, that knows what he's doing, Instead of Joe Brady calling these garbage, children's book plays. That's the difference. Watch, Cam is going to audible every single one of them. Every one of them. It's happened already. It's already happening. Cam knew this coming in. He watched us. And he said, yep, this is what's going to happen. I'm cool with it. I'm going to create my own playbook. And watch what happened. We were doing the same things we were doing in 14 and 15 on that offense. And I said, yep, here we go. Now it's on. Yeah, it was definitely Cam. The energy that he brought today just was unreal. It was unreal. And everybody felt it from the top to the bottom. And it pushed us past that glass ceiling that we just could not get past. for the life of this team on offense. They just could not do it. Defensively, we were breaking it every week. And I was arguably saying top 12 defense, There's a few areas we still need to work on, like Sean Chandler. I felt like if we got Justin Burris back, we'd be a lot better at safety. Now we're a top 10 defense because of that, in my opinion. I had zero faith in Sean Chandler to cover anybody or to cover in the red zone during draw plays. I felt like there was just no way. Then we covered the corner position. We got that solved. So now what? Next is run stopping. Just because we rank top 2 doesn't mean that that's how I see it. Okay? You can show me numbers all day long. But what I see out there is a top 10 defense. I don't see a ranked 2 defense out there. I see a top 10. And the reason being is because we gave up 31 points to the Cowboys. We gave up. Let me show y'all. Hold up. All right. We gave up 24 points to the Patriots. We gave up 25 points to the Giants, who we're not supposed to give up that many points to. We gave up 34 to the Vikings. I think I've made my point here. You know what I mean? Top 10. I think even if our offense could sustain a drive, I think it's still top 10 because we still had issues at safety with Sean Chandler, and we were still struggling with corner position and run defense. The pass rush has been kind of pedestrian, and that's what had me a little concerned. A little bit above pedestrian, if you want to put it there. We were putting heat on these quarterbacks, but we're not getting sacks. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what I want. Turnovers are one thing. If you can get turnovers, that's great. But if you can't, just make the play. And I saw Dante Jackson miss a couple of those tackles where he just gets too overly aggressive and he just misses at the toes of the wide receiver. You know what I mean? You've seen it last year too. And that kind of frustrated me as well. But if he just stays there, covers the guy, takes care of business, and pass deflects, we're great. We're golden. I had questions at linebacker until I started seeing these guys turn up, man. So, like I said, man, when you're dealing with teams like the Cowboys, you're going to get roasted. There's too many weapons to cover. There really are. And that's why you saw us get roasted for 36. With the Vikings, we just did not play well enough on offense to sustain that. Therefore, it just did not happen. We just couldn't find a way to pull it out. And guess who gave up the winning touchdown? Oh, yeah, that's right. Sean Chandler. So, you see my point now, please. Because, honestly, we were doing all of this without J.C. Horn. Think about that. We did all this without J.C. Horn. Imagine if we had J.C. Horn. We wouldn't have to make all those trades. We wouldn't have to do all that fancy crap, and we'd be in a great position right now. But instead, we had cornerback issues, and we had to solve it. So for the longest time, I saw us as a top 10 D. I didn't see us as a top 15 until we solved that top 12, and I didn't see us as a top 10 until we solved the Sean Chandler problem, which we did not solve until just this week. What you expect if the offense can't stay on the field? True. The defense does play a little bit better, but not that much better that I would rank them in the top 5. Because you're still giving up 7 points every day. Every game with Chandler. That's just guaranteed. He's just that bad in coverage. But he's a great tackler, don't get me wrong, but he's terrible in coverage. Absolutely hot trash in coverage. So if he is your last chance to stop an opponent from getting to the end zone on maybe a sweep play or a draw play, you're screwed. You know what I'm saying? Like, he'll make the tackle, but not after giving up a ton of yards. It just wasn't good. So with Justin Burris coming back, that makes it a top 10 for sure. Maybe a top 7. We still need to fix the running game, run defense part. We still need to have a little bit more of a pass rush for me to consider us a top 5. And honestly, at that point, it's just depth from there on. Do you have enough depth to sustain a top 5? Top 5 right now. Interestingly enough, it's kind of shifting around because of how crazy the league is right now and how many upsets are going on. There isn't really a solid top 5. I would definitely put the Bills up there. I think that's obvious. Bills are up there. Patriots are up there too. I mean, Patriots have shut some people down completely. You saw what they did to Brady. That's top 5 worthy. Interestingly enough, San Francisco has an excellent defense right now. The problem is they don't have an offense. So that's what's costing them a top 5 spot. The Rams I need to take another look at. I need to make sure of what I'm seeing here with LA. Because I don't know for 100% that's a top 5 defense or not. I need to look at it again. I need to really watch them play in order to see what we're doing with there. Yeah, there's a couple of teams. Green Bay is starting to get up there. They've got some work to do, but they're getting up there. The Cards' defense was impressive for a little bit. So it's an up and down league right now. There's a lot going on right now, so I can't really give you a solid top five. Uh, because there's a lot of patterns that are being broken right now by upsets that are not supposed to happen. Perfect example: the Bucks losing this week to Washington. That wasn't supposed to happen in my predictions. Another case in point. Hold on. Another case in point for you guys is let me see. The Vikings beating the Chargers. That was not expected either. I did not see that coming either. I think you got to put Seattle up there too as a consistent defense because these guys have been able to limit Rodgers to 17 points this week. And I think that's interesting. So you have to throw them in there. There's a few teams where it's situational. And when I say situational, I mean KC, case in point here for that is some weeks they're up, some weeks they're down, but they have a terrible secondary. So when they're all playing well, you see scores like that 41-14 over the LA Raiders. There's other weeks where they won't play well and it'll shift around, and that's why you're seeing that 6-4 record, because all these teams are just so shifty right now. You don't know who legitimately has a top 5 defense right now, and it shifts every week. That's the crazy part. Like, I want to give Seattle a spot, and I want to give the Chiefs a spot right now, but I can't because they're so shifty. I mean, we'll see. I mean, legitimately, right now, if you count these shifts as kind of, they're wishy washy, yeah, you could count us as a top 5 defense, but at the same time, we have that same problem too. We're sitting here, we gave up like Cowboys that many points to the Patriots and the Giants, so we can't just automatically claim a top 5 spot right now, in defense. That's why I'm kind of on the fence with that one. You see where I'm going with that? If you want to claim it on numbers, yeah, technically, yes, but it gets really complicated from there if you don't 100% go by numbers. This is a weird year, man. Like, I don't know what to tell y'all, man. At least one thing's consistent. Detroit's not winning. Oh my god, dude. That overtime tie is just hilarious. How do you tie the Steelers in overtime? Wow. Just wow. I had to give my prediction. I had to give my reaction on that one. That's just too good. That's too funny. How is that going to affect the first round draft pick? When you got a team like um when you got a team like the Texans coming up there with 2 wins and the Jets with 2 wins, this is gonna get real interesting. I'm actually legit curious to see how that's gonna end. I think you technically have to give it to the people that don't have the tie. Is that how that works? Or who has the most losses, maybe? Would probably be it. In that case, you got to give it to the Texans and Jets, most likely. Giants will be right there, man. Wow. All of the Giants, you just never know. They've been throwing some blows at some teams, man, this year. I wonder who else's season they've ruined. Let's find out. Let's actually find out. I'm curious. This has me curious now. Because legitimately, if we had actually beat the Giants, we would be fighting for the 5th seed and have full control. Which makes things very interesting. I think they got a bye week. I'm not seeing them. Yeah, I think they have a bye week. Who do they play next week? Just curious. By the way, Travis Kelce, 18th straight game with another reception. With 8 receptions, I believe. Travis Kelce's a monster. Good God. Top 3 tight ends right there. I'm telling you. As long as Gronk is still in the league, he's still number 1, in my opinion. Just because of his frame and just how tough he is. Oh, yep. That's going to be a Bucs win next week. Well, let's see what they've done so far. Who else's season have they ruined? They ruined the Saints. They ruined ours. They got a win against the Raiders this week. What in the... You gotta be kidding me. If that one upset messes with the West, I'm gonna laugh so hard. There's just no way. Watch that be the determining factor on who gets wild card. Watch, I'm calling it. I'm calling it now. Watch that be the determining factor. That's gonna be freaking crazy. This is one of the weirdest years I've ever seen. I fully expect these three to go at it. KC, LA, and Las Vegas for sure. I see it. It's going to be an interesting year. Wait, Denver's in the hunt for this year? What? Where did y'all come from with a 5-5 record? Where did that come from? You're like quietly getting these wins. Huh. Okay. Yeah. The 49ers are better than that 3-5 record. That defense is just it's really good. It's consistently good. However, that offense is so horrendously bad. It's worse than ours. Okay, so just to demonstrate that for a second, I want to show you the scores. All right, so at first they get this win over the Lions, but look how many points they give up 33. Yikes. That was before they finally got their defense settled. Now, once they got their defense settled, they give up 11 against the Eagles. They give up 30 points against the Packers, but I mean, that's Rodgers. You know, you got to kind of take that with a grain of salt because it is Rodgers. And at that point, he's pissed. So he took it out on everybody at that point. So that defense does give up 28 against the Seahawks. But Russell Wilson's playing well at that point, so, not a surprise. Then they take on Kyler Murray in that Cardinals offense. And you see that 17-10 score right there. They did give up 17, but at this point it's consistent. The Colts got red hot at that time. Put up 30. Not a surprise. They got the win over the Bears. Defense gives up 22. And then the Cardinals again, where they give up 31. So I kind of have to eat some crow on that one. I was wrong. That defense is actually not as good as I thought it was. All right. Yeah, that 3-5 record's legitimate then. My apologies to everybody that I was saying that to for the past 2 weeks. The past few weeks, actually. I was actually mistaken on that one. My bad. That being the case, let's rework that in. Okay. All right, so week 11. This is where it starts. Where are the Niners at? Surely they have a good enough defense to beat the Jags. I'm leaving that one alone. Week 12. Jags are really struggling. Yep, got the Vikings there. Makes sense. 13. I'm going to take Seattle there. $14. Yep. I got them over the Bengals. Yep, that makes sense. 15. 15, I think, is their bye week. Nope. Nope. Let's give the Falcons a win there. I think that makes sense. All right, so 49ers this week. Yep, Titans. Titans beat them for sure. 17. Beat the Texans. Yep. 18. And the Rams win. Okay. That still has no bearing on us. Should not. As far as I'm concerned, it should not. Yeah. I'm checking to see if it does or not. Dean. Right. 13. It's our bye week. 12. Yep, still has no bearing on us. All right. Okay. Okay, just for fun, let me show y'all what would have happened if we had won. 11 win ceiling. And here's what would have happened had we beaten one of these two opponents, either the Eagles or the Vikings. And I believe it was the Vikings we went to overtime with? Yes. Yes. Okay. So we're going to call this one a win. 12 win ceiling. Boom. Think about that. And that's if that had happened. Let's just take that into consideration. $14, $15, continue on there. Okay. We get rocked by the Bucks, and that's 10 wins. Boom. There you go. Imagine had we won that Giants game and that Vikings game. 10 win season. That puts us squarely in second place and secures our wildcard spot no matter what happens against Tampa Bay. This is why I was telling y'all, man, we got to have this win. And this team just did not want it. at all. All right. So now you see it, folks. This is what could have been. We still would have ended up playing the Packers. Do y'all believe me now? We still had no shot. With Sam Darnold as our quarterback leading the way. It's just not there. It's not there. Just for funsies, just because I want you guys to have a little bit of fun with this. We're going to the Saints, Cards, Chargers, Ravens, Bills. Just because. Rams, Bills, Titans. Nope, Chargers. Just so you guys can see, just because I know you guys want this to happen so bad. There is no path for us to get there. It's just not. It's not going to happen. And I'll tell you why it's not going to happen. Because we have already screwed ourselves. Against guess who? The Vikes. Giants have already beat us. Boom. Week 12. $15. 16. Boom. Alright, there you go. That shows you where we're at. That's the path. We either win those games or we don't. We need to beat the Bucks at home. The Saints on the road. We need to beat the Falcons at home. We need Dallas to beat the Saints. And we need to beat the Dolphins. And lastly, we need to win against Washington next week. That's it. That's our path. If we have one. But we need a little bit of help from the Cowboys against the Saints. That's it. Let's see what happens. Alright, guys. That being said, I'm going to end this stream here. I don't think there's anything else worth looking at this point. But if you want to play with this yourself, playoffpredictors.com/football. So there you go. Alright, guys. Shout out to Coach Fampy, Jonathan Funny, The Real Zero Chill. I know he was in here. There's a few others that I've already shouted out on YouTube. So there you go. Shout out to LD, who's always in my Facebook chat. Shout out to Pamela. Shout out to Clax. Appreciate you. Love you, man. Shout out to Adrian. And Saturn Wicks. Shout out to you. I think we got one more here. I don't figure it. Oh. And lastly, my partner, David Kesha. Appreciate you, man. YouTube partner, freshly Christian, and thrown into the fire here, man. Appreciate you, man. Hey, shout out to all y'all, man. I'm fixing to put some music on, and let's finish this stream out, shall we? Appreciate y'all, man. Have a great rest of your week. As always, I hope this stream finds you happy, healthy, and well. Give me just 1 sec, guys, and we'll play our way out of here. Keep pounding, guys. Appreciate you, man. Appreciate all y'all. Nothing but love. Peace, y'all. Keep pounding, baby. Let's enjoy this win.